You know, when we look back at history, some journeys are so much more than just people moving from one place to another. They're a fundamental shift in the human spirit. And today, we're diving into one of those pivotal events, a migration that wasn't about changing a physical address, but about building an entirely new world, all fueled by an unshakable faith.
To really get this, we have to look past the obvious danger. Now, persecution was definitely the trigger. There's no doubt about that. But this wasn't seen as just an escape. For the people who undertook this journey, it was a conscious, divinely guided step, the very first chapter of a brand new beginning.
So, what brings an entire community to the point of making such a life-altering choice? Well, it certainly wasn't a snap decision. This migration was really the climax of 13 long years of building faith, of being patient, and of enduring hardship that just kept getting worse and worse in their home city of Makkah. This event has a name, the Hijrah, and it was this incredibly strategic move of the early Muslim community out of the hostile environment of Makkah to a new city of promise, Al-Madeenah, a place where they could finally build a society based on their deepest beliefs.
And this is where the sheer gravity of it all really hits you. This was so much more than just packing up and moving. For every single person, the choice to leave meant a profound personal sacrifice. It was the ultimate test of what they truly valued most.
Just take a second and try to imagine what was on the line here. You're consciously walking away from your homeland, the only place you've ever called home. You're leaving behind family, your house, your money, a whole lifetime of memories. This was a choice to hit reset, to start from absolute zero with nothing in your hands but your faith. Okay, so you're faced with leaving everything you've ever known. Where do you possibly find the strength to do that? The answer, for them, came from this powerful spiritual idea that completely changed how they saw their situation. The idea that migration wasn't a sign of defeat, it was a divinely approved way forward. This understanding really hinged on a key verse from the Qur'an, and the message was just profound. If you feel trapped, if you feel cornered, just remember, God's earth is spacious. It completely reframes the world not as a prison, but as this vast place full of refuge and new possibilities. Now, making the decision to leave, that was one thing. But the journey itself, that was a whole other ordeal. The road to Al-Madeenah was filled with peril, and even this was understood through a spiritual lens, not as a tragedy, but as an inevitable and maybe even necessary test.
Just picture it. You're making your way through a brutal desert, you're being hunted, and you have no idea what's waiting for you on the other side. This wasn't just about physical stamina. It was a deep, spiritual trial, almost as if designed to see if your belief could stand strong when literally everything else had been taken away.
And this whole way of thinking is captured perfectly in another Quranic verse. It asks, do people really think they can just say, "We believe," and that's it? That they won't be tested? So for the migrants, this terrifying journey wasn't a surprise at all. In a way, it was the fulfillment of a divine promise, a chance to prove that their conviction was more than just words.
Of course, leaving your entire life and support system behind brings up a terrifying question. How am I going to survive? How will I feed my family in a place I've never even been to? And this very real, very human fear was addressed head-on. This verse gave them this incredible sense of reassurance with a really simple, elegant point. Just look around at the animals, at the birds. They don't store up their own food, yet they're taken care of. The message was all about trust, that the same divine care that provides for the smallest creature would also provide for them. But the spiritual prep for this journey went even deeper than just day-to-day survival. This moment of crisis was actually a chance to shift the whole community's perspective, to get them to focus less on the immediate problems of this life and more on the ultimate purpose of why they were even here. I mean, think about it. So much of what we fear is really tied to the fear of death. But the powerful reminder here was that death comes for everyone, everywhere. It's inevitable. So the real goal of life shouldn't be just to stay alive, but to live in a way that prepares you for what's next. This verse, it really puts everything into perspective, doesn't it? It's this stark, clear reminder that life is temporary. And by taking that truth to heart, the migrants found the courage to face unimaginable hardship, because their ultimate goal wasn't comfort in this world, but something much, much greater. So after this incredible journey of sacrifice and trial, the story finally arrives at its destination. And the arrival in Al-Madeenah, well, it wasn't just the end of a long, dangerous road. It was the sunrise of a whole new era. And this part is absolutely crucial. They weren't just showing up as refugees in a strange land.
A foundation had been laid. A whole community of believers in Al-Madeenah was waiting for them, ready to welcome them with open arms, ready to share everything they had. The journey didn't just end in safety, it ended in a reunion that gave birth to a new kind of society, one built on an incredible bond of solidarity and shared faith.
This entire story, from the absolute depths of what they sacrificed to the incredible heights of what they hoped for, it leaves us with a question that's just as relevant today as it was then. It kind of forces us to look at our own lives and ask, when you're faced with the impossible, when everything you know and love is on the line, what is it that makes a journey of faith worth the ultimate price?